Good morning. We're gonna run through the charts real quick. I feel like we should all kind of know what's going on here, but I'm definitely gonna lay it out for you guys to show you kind of what we have going on. I did discuss this last time when we talked about it, I think Monday, and prior to that when we were sitting up here and kind of falling into that order block. But I'll discuss it again. So right here, this portion right here is a very significant order block, right? So we talked about this the other week. And that was when we were up here. And I was telling you guys this right here would come down into this order block. And now what do they have to do? Well, this is a fast move, right? So the likeliness is they'll come up and they'll recapture the liquidity, which they're pretty close to doing right now. Or two other scenarios will kind of pan out here, right? So if they capture the liquidity, again, not difficult to understand, it'll look something like this. Down to the next order block, right? And for those of you who don't know where that order block is, again, we've talked about this one too. You get your swing lows, right? It'll probably revisit the same order block here, it's here. And if you go down to the 4 hour, that will also be right over here. So again, just gotta utilize the tools we're giving you guys. So you got this whole zone right in here. You got this little tiny one right here. And if you want to go lower and say, okay, maybe they go lower, last down before the last up, really that could even be right here, which is where liquidity touched, took off. Then liquidity ran into the order block again, took off. And now it ran into the order block here, took off, came back to the order block visited, took off, came back to the order block visited. And now they're trying to break out again to recapture the liquidity of the drop, right? So the market maker had to eat these buys right here. So the market maker's trying to rebalance the move. That's all it is. Nothing too crazy, nothing too, I would say, not understandable. So if you look at that, that's the zone I'm aiming for we'll say option A, right? So option B, there's two other ones that can pan out here. Would be something simply like this. So we have our moves high, right? All the way up. This then becomes what we would consider an incline. You got price then moving up. And you can see how it's getting closer. I don't have to draw it all the way out for you to understand this is an incline, right? So incline wedge, in that case, price would essentially go here to 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 here, and then back up to the top, and then back down to the bottom, and maybe back up to the top again and then through, or it'll fall out here. So one of the two before it comes back down. Revisits the low. Again, my anticipation September we get a double bottom, something similar to a double bottom. I thought they would do it right now, but my thoughts are is this will probably pan out before this just drops. So I think double bottom scenario, right? And if we look at this right here, this same zone I'm calling for them to hit, it's the same rejection zone we have right here too. So there's a lot of confirmation in the zone. So you got your W right here, right? So you got your top of your W, both rejection zones. And then that would mean we come up and hit this again and then reject here. Or if we break through, we have the top of wedge, and we bounce around, maybe fall through right here, maybe bounce up one more time and come back down. I'm expecting the drop to occur in September, so I would expect it on this first run up. Or we have one more scenario for Bitcoin. And that scenario would be to come back up and retest the highs, right? The high of the resistance. That doesn't mean bull. It definitely doesn't mean bull. Definitely expecting to drop in September. But that just means that price runs up all of a sudden. It gets a lot of liquidity and then comes all the way back down. Again, I think for a double bottom, at least, if not deeper than a double bottom, right? So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm aiming for an entry. If they double bottom, that might be good confirmation, but that W from that double bottom could result in an M, right? Up, down, M, a drop. If they don't double bottom and they form a lower low, and they start forming off of that lower low, I think that's a good opportunity. That's a build short structure, which means that if price doesn't double bottom here on a drop and comes down deeper, I can almost guarantee you we're going to get bullish divergence off of this if this happens. And bullish divergence again would simply show the RSI strength facing up and the price facing down. You would look at this price zone, deep depth, and then you would look at this price zone depth. And if this was deeper and the RSI is higher, that would be bullish divergence. Right now, we can't really call this bullish divergence because the price is following the RSI, right? So we're bouncing higher, but we're also higher in price. So it's not bullish divergence right now. This is just natural market flow. You always want to look for the bullish divergence to be able to find a good entry for a huge bounce. So with that being said, there's not a whole lot going on here. You have some upside potential. These are my 3 expectations. If you end up in this first example, you're going to get wrecked trying to go long here. You know, with the second example, you might make some decent upside. I'm not playing this move. And then if you end up in this third example, you can get 40%, 50%. Yeah, definitely can do it. But the move's not worth it to me. It's not worth it. Everybody keeps calling the opposite direction of the market continuously. I saw a video yesterday with some influencers, not gonna name their names, but they have 1.44 million followers on YouTube. So you can probably guess who. Bitcoin's about to fall out. Bitcoin's about to go down. Well, actually, Bitcoin's about to go up, whether it be here, here, and here. It will fall down in September, but it's going to go up for right now, in my opinion. So these are the scenarios I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Nothing too crazy. I'm not getting in on any plays on this. If we jump up high, I'll short for sure. If we jump up, maybe start a short here. If I start to get wrecked here, set a stop somewhere around above this wick, probably around 28. So if we get up to about 28, it'll stop, and then I'll reopen around 30, 31. Once we get close to this edge, they may not even let it come all the way up. So I wouldn't try and anticipate a move all the way to the resistance. So either way, market's bearish. You can see that. I'm looking for the build short structure. That's always your indication for a big bounce, if not an indication for a market reversal. So I don't do build longs. I told you guys this many times. You can believe in it or don't believe in it. It's a structure that's old as time and well known. A build long structure is never a positive structure. The market maker has to sell you their positions to do a build long structure. The market maker needs to keep an equal balance of the asset and of the dollar amount that they are trading. So if that's the case, that means they're heavy in fiat and not heavy in the asset. So if they're heavy in fiat and not heavy in the asset, that means they're selling you the asset and with the intention to go short, which means they'll be buying the asset at cheaper pricing, which means the market will drop down. It's a really easy process to understand. A build long structure, negative structure, build short structure, positive structure, especially under certain current economics. We're not going back into a bull market 100% until the next halving. Okay. I know some people may believe or this or that and think, all these random things, but the halving is what determines the bull markets. It's that scarcity is what drives price action. That's what drives traders into the market. That's what drives liquidity into the market. So as long as we understand that, next halving is not till 2024. So we need to stop panicking to get in. If you want to DCA. But right now, it's time to be patient again, right? We called the big short up here. It shorted down. Called the location into the OB. It got into the OB. Now I'm waiting for price to come back up, and I'll short it again, whether it be here or here. If it drops here, it's not going to go down that far. It's probably going to go down to right here, which means I'm not going to short that because it's probably going to reverse right back up. Keep that in mind. To make big moves down, you need big moves up. To make big moves up, you need big moves down. So they made a big move down. So now they need to make a big move up, whether that be here or here. In my opinion, September, it can drop anywhere. They can drive price all the way through mid September. They can drive price all the way to the 20th of September. But there has never been a scenario, and I've pointed this out with you guys, where September has not dropped. Drop, 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 and I'm expecting another drop. I don't care if it pumps. I don't care if it tries to go to the moon. I'm expecting a drop in September, and a pretty big one. Average is 24, 30, 38. Then you got 15, 17, and that's it. I don't expect a smaller drop. I expect 20 to 25% on the drop from wherever price is. And the reason I don't, you have a 3 to 2 scenario here, right? So I'm going off the sizable ones. I'm thinking 25%. That's right in between all these price areas. You know, it could be bigger. Definitely could be bigger, but I'm expecting at least 25%. If we get up to, I don't know, we'll say 26K again, 27K, whatever, and we drop 25%, that's going to put us right at a double bottom. 18K, 18.6 or whatever, right? If we drop 40%, which is a possibility too, and we're sitting at 26K, or we'll say 35%. That's 15K, 16K. All right. Don't be panicking right now. Just calm down. Take the time we've got right now to pay attention to charting, understanding market structure, and understanding what's going on right now. Cardano, still nothing, you know. Fell right back into this wedge or this pennant. I told you guys we get a bounce out, right? We got the bounce out. I'm expecting Cardano to fall to the floor at some point. It might come back up to the top here at the wedge, but it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down. Cardano's got a ways to go before I think it's gonna be at the bottom. Ethereum, we warned you guys. Look, I kind of think Pete might be right on this. I mean, I know it's calling it way ahead of time, but there's a good scenario here. You got your shoulder, right? Your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. They're coming up. They're hitting it perfectly. They can come up and wick into this zone as high as they did over here. But if they come back down here, that's going to be a right shoulder. They got to break the neck. They're going to come all the way back down to the lows again. Does that mean $800 ETH? Maybe. It could definitely go deeper than where we were. I'm setting it probably around like $1,000, but the potential here is that in time this thing's going to keep dropping though. I don't think that the market's going to continue up for a long period of time here. We got a good bounce here on Matic. Again, I think Matic's moving in the same thing, man. I don't know if it's going to complete this formation. I actually think at this point we're going to end up in another head and shoulder scenario for Matic. So many assets are showing the same pattern. It's just too obvious. Look at Solana. Same thing. Same as that thing. They rinsed you over here and they rinsed you here for the same amount. They push price back up. I think they're going to head and shoulders here too, right? Get your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Not really interested in this one. Disney. So I told you guys about this one. Too much price action move. Straight drop. They're trying to pick it up here. I'm expecting Disney to come back down to $110, if not deeper. Amazon. Amazon might come back up and retest, but that's going to be a rejection at 138. It's going to come back down to 123. It's got to fill this gap. Honestly, I would short it here. I wouldn't care if it's going to come back up. It's going to come down and fill that gap, which is a put. Tesla, again, just kind of hitting these support levels, these consolidation levels. It might bounce around a little bit, but I'm still expecting lower lows. About that 3,700, or not Tesla, sorry, the S&P. 3,700, all the way down to 33.65. And in a worst case scenario, if the market gets bad enough, starts getting thrown around as a word, we could see really low lows, right? The market could panic on the word recession and everybody sells out. We could end up down here and it's 28.51. That would be extremely bad for everything. I'd just be cautious until like roughly, Q1 of next year, really, to be honest with you. I think trying to play the market right now, there's going to be upside, but there's going to be way more downside, I think, until Q1 of 2021 or 2023. Sorry. Um, Kind of breaking the lows. We talked about this before. They're down in the zone, but the reality is this is your consolidation. Long, short, long, short, long, short. Eh, Lucid's been really good about this. Really, really good. Perfect rejection on Adobe, right on the OB that we talked about last time. Hit it, dropped, coming back down, hitting about 385. Potential to come all the way back down here, 295. That's what I'm looking for Adobe. I think Adobe's going to about to get wrecked. 2-year bonds, as talked about, look, 3.38%. This thing is going to go for the gold. It's going to go for the gold all the way up here. 3.84. That's expectations. And if we can get high enough, government starts selling off their positions, pulling liquidity from the market, we can see a 5% bond, which would be insane. Tulip 5% bond crypto could be at like 10 or less than 10K. We start seeing stuff like that. Still building low on Twitter. Coming back down. I think it's going to retest the low here on the build long structure. This is my expectations for Twitter. This could follow Elon having to buy Twitter. This will be one of the most epic calls of the year if that happens. Price action is telling me we're going to build long structure for Twitter. I know I said many times I wouldn't buy this because they don't provide anything, but it looks like it's in a build long structure. This could be a peak to where people just like blow up Twitter and then Twitter just tanks. In reality, when you look at price, he's only paying, I think, $50 some per stock. So I don't think that this could actually technically happen, but this is the way price is building for me. It's building in the direction of a breakout scenario. But I think this breakout's going to be a breakdown. US oil. Okay, they're breaking out of the structure of the bull flag. They are now going bullish. Oil is now, look, see the round bottom? Oil is going bullish. Yep. Yeah, that's going to be bad. Oil's going bullish. Oil back up to the moon. I might take a long on that. Let's see, Bandits. BNB. Yeah, I think BNB is getting crushed under resistance, under support. Could end up just dropping from here. BNB is another one of those head and shoulders. See, well, not really. Huh. It's kind of weird. I thought it was. No, it's kind of some weird structure with BNB. Ooh. Let's see what we got here. It's kind of like, no, it's kind of weird. Can't really make out what they're trying to do here with price action. So they got a nice ceiling here. They got above the ceiling, but it looks like they're breaking back under. Interesting with BNB. All right, so Shopify. Told you guys it was gonna come right back down. Look, and again, this isn't me like I did this or I know. I'm just looking at price action. That's it. Look, just price action telling me it's coming back. It looks to me like it's about to double bottom and form a big W. Can you guys see it? It's pretty simple to see. Look, I'm gonna point it out for you. It's gonna be very good for Shopify. All it is. All it is. You could do that, or it could even, stop out right here. That'd be a big move. But you know, I'm probably gonna get in on Shopify down here. Not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna get in right here. Around $30. Even though I think the stock market's gonna get wrecked, I think there's possibility they can get on 11. I'm gonna probably get it at $30. I think Shopify's a great stock. All right, more risk being taken on. We're at the top of the W. I believe it was Aaron that brought this one to me. It's like a risk stock or something like that. Like it just evaluates corporate risk, like taking on risk. So it looks like they're at the high of the zone, hitting resistance. Not this means like, in my opinion, that's risk off. That's risk off. Get off because they're that heavy in risk on, right? That means you should be heavy in risk off. When the market starts acting very very bullish in a bearish scenario, you should question what's actually going on. 10-year building long. Again, we hit resistance, fell back, coming back up. We got a nice bounce here. 10-year looks really good here. We're lower in strength, almost equal in price. We can see a breakout and then a pullback, and then we hit this 50, right? And now we've built a good balance, and now we're setting above a bullish scenario. So as long as the 10-year stays above the 50, we're good. When 10 goes below the 50, it goes pretty bearish, right? So below the 50, and then boom, just drops. So you got to be careful with those. Right now, above the 50, so still bullish in my opinion. DXY pushing for higher position. Oh, look at that. It's a double top right there. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. We're building short here. Looks like we're about to come back and probably consolidate. We'll probably come back, consolidate a little bit, but my expectations is that this move will continue. CNY. So the Chinese yuan is now breaking out against the dollar. Right off of support, guys. Look at that. Right off support. Look, you can see right here. See the resistance? See the support? I'm just pointing this out so you guys know. And if we go in here and we go straight across, we got more support, more support. Can't lay it out any easier than that. Nice bounce there. Probably come back up, retest, probably retest the high. Yeah, it looks like we might retest the high around 38. 39. I maybe go long on the one. I don't know. It's got a nice gap there though, so I'd be a little bit careful. Might get some consolidation. ETH BTC. ETH BTC is looking okay. Not sure. It's like a big V-shaped recovery at ETH BTC here. So this is kind of comparing ETH against BTC specifically. One project that I'm looking to get on big time is DOT. I know people keep talking about this and that and everything else. Everybody ignoring DOT. DOT is a great project, guys. Don't sleep on it. You can see right here, you got some like movement in between. That's all this could be. Ultimately, DOT could be looking for that double bottom too. Around this $5 on 597. Look at that. That'd be great buying DOT. I remember I had DOT and selling it I think around like $45 or something like that. Yeah, buying around $45. It was $45. I mean that's a huge gain. And if DOT got up to $45, if you look at ecosystems being built on, I know everybody keeps talking about ETH. Actually, DOT has more projects building on it. I know it sounds insane. It sounds crazy. But the reality is, like, you can look this information up yourself. I'll probably look it up later. I know there's a chart for it. DOT is actually the fastest growing ecosystem out of all of them, including Solana. Solana had a lot of growth in 2021, but when you look at time and continual growth, DOT's actually growing at a rapid rate. It's pretty crazy. XRP. Looking like it wants to go long. Again, I'd hit it around this this resistance here, 37 cents. You don't have much room here to go up. It just keeps rejecting heavily on that position. You see right here, they were able to build long structure, fell out of it, and now they're coming back up. They'll probably retest the 50 and come back down as bearish. So that'll be your retest of your resistance right here around 37. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is not what I wanted to see. So now you got the 10 and the 2 crossing. So this yield curve is actually starting to run sideways. So that means that we're staying inverted, right? Staying inverted is very bad. If you get a nice inversion with a nice bounce, that could mean that we're just, we're hitting rough spots, but nothing too crazy. But you see right here, we got that nice inversion with a nice bounce. Then we got that 0099 01, right? And 01's kind of when we felt the crash once it reinverted, right? Same thing over here. In 2008, 2009, we got the inversion around 06. Then we got the inversion right in 07. And then we got the bounce back up from 07. And then 08, 09 is where we felt the pain, right? So we could be kind of seeing that pain, foreseeing that pain later on in the future. So that could be our bull run in 2024, ended up in a massive dump again, following the pain that could be following that bull run. That's what I'm predicting for the future, is that we end up in a bull run in 2024 as normal, and then that next dump uh, becomes very massive in the next bull run, and then that the excuse will be the .com bubble of 2023 or 2024 or this or that. We all saw it coming. And this and that. I can almost bet that that's going to be the scenario that'll play out for that. Let's check what do we got here. BTCD. Okay, we already talked about that. AMD. Guys, I can't make it any easier. You see the shoulders I have drawn out right here. Look, same neck. I even put the line here at the angle, so you guys can see exactly where this is at. This is insane that this thing's actually playing out. So we got the resistance here. We're getting lower highs, right? Lower highs, and then we're under the 50 again. So very bearish. We can continue to play under the 50, and that could drop us right back down here. This is the neck, guys. I know it's not straight. Normally we like to draw necks straight. They don't have to be straight. They do not have to be straight. So you can see right here, I drew the resistance straight across based off the support over here. We hit it, broke through, made it look good, fell back under, hit it again, perfectly dropped off of it, came back down, and we could come up and retest again, right? We could. The minute we come back down to this neck, though, I think that's going to be bad news. I think that they come down, though, hit that, come up, could bounce around in here, could drop. But, this is a lookout below scenario. AMD could really go to $37. Ideally, I would be picking some up around 70, though, because I think AMD going, and this is just a DCA for here. I'm going to be picking some up at 70. I will pick some up at 37 if it goes deeper, but I am picking some up at 70. AMD is the future chips, in my opinion. People sleep on it. There's still too many Intel fanboys. I'm telling you guys, AMD is it. I would also keep an eye on Intel, though, too, because Intel is actually being slept on heavily. Intel's not a horrible company, and if they can get themselves out of the rut that they're in, they could do a lot of things. You can see right here, stochastics reading way over bought. So, Beyond Meat, we talked about it. Short here, long here. Short here, long here. What did it do? Dropped. So, short on Beyond Meat. If you're trying to get in a short now, you're late to the move. Let it hit its bottom, and then you can go ahead and try and do a long off of that position. Beyond Meat's getting wrecked in the market. If Beyond Meat double bottoms or goes deeper, and this RSI is bullish divergence, that could be signaling something very big. I think a lot of these stocks, I will tell you, there's bad news coming out. Contracts being canceled with McDonald's. These are not bad companies. Don't get played by the news and them telling you, oh, their deal got canceled with McDonald's. So Beyond Meat's not going to be a good pick, guys. Look, Beyond Meat is not a bad company. All it is just FUD. At the end of the day, I think that there will be, I think that they'll survive and they'll do very well. Very, very well. All right. So, one. Nothing too crazy, sitting at 2 cents. Still can't believe, man. I got this at like way down. Guys, I couldn't believe it. Got the 35 cents. Oh man. I still think it's a solid project. I think one around a penny is amazing, guys. I think one around a penny is amazing. We get back up to all-time highs, that's 35x. So not a bad deal. Clover, again, just, long, short, long, short. Clover, not too bullish on. Broke trend on the RSI, broke trend on the chart. Be careful with that one. It broke out just as expected. This was your consolidation. There's your breakout. And just so you guys know, so you know what happened, and we talked about this last time, what do you see right here? Double bottom, rise in strength. Bullish divergence leads to a breakout. So if you followed that move, this is what we need to look for on the next drop, by the way. We need to look for heavy bullish divergences. That's what I'm going to be looking for big time. That's an 80% gain. 80% gain if you'd long on the double bottom. It's overbought right now. Would not be buying it here. It's going to cool down. RSI is way overbought. Meta Hero. Following to a T. Look at that. It's going to come all the way back down to 0.006. Looks like this was its high. It did have bullish divergence too, but I guess its bullish divergence didn't give it that much. You see it right there? It broke its bullish divergence right here. So you got the signal to get out. And then if you ate it, you're down here. Meta here is going to go deeper. I wouldn't touch this. NIO. We talked about NIO. Guys, don't mess with Chinese stocks right now. Do not mess with. I think the Chinese economy is going to collapse. Really, really think they're going to collapse. I think that them stimulating in a time of high inflation in the world is not the smartest move. I would avoid any country that's trying to stimulate in the current economy. Under the 50, very bearish. Hollow's coming down. What do we got here? Remember, we want these build short structures, guys. We want to look for build short. Build short. You will get these big moves up. Get drop. Take that to 60%. We'll say 40%, right? If you didn't catch it at the right time or whatever. Okay. This one is still looking okay, actually. Ape is, nope. Ape retested. Wouldn't touch it. And you can see right here, I drew this out right here. And I drew that would come back up and come back down. Now, again, I'm not saying I drew as in like I predicted or I did this or I did that. I'm telling you guys, like, I'm just reading the price action. I can see where price action is going to go based on the move. I could see right here that price action was going to bounce because we're at the bottom of the RSI, right? We're at the lowest point of strength. Buyers always step in when they think something's overbought. It could be a temporary bounce. It could be a permanent bounce. Either way, they're going to bounce the price. The price is going to come back up. Price looks like it's about to hit the SMA right here. And it'll probably come back down again, just like I've shown right here. So, that's my expectation. Stochastic, same way oversold too. But here's the thing. What's the utility of it? All right. That's why I'm not messing with it. All right. Same thing here. We're getting the same movement over here in Kyber. Getting that run up. Hitting the 50. This actually looks like it might go. It might pop, right? Might pop. Like I'm not going long on this. I'm not going long on this. But if it pops, expectations $5, I'll short that thing down. Tesla. They're playing the high right here. And again, they can't make it any more obvious. Look. Everything plays out in the end. Riding wedge will break out. They're in a build long structure. Might come back up to the highs of 939 or come all the way up and hit this 1K mark. But I'm expecting Tesla to come down hard. I really, really am. We'll see what happens at the end of the day. There's a lot of consolidation in the zone, but yeah, this is one of my better calls of the year. I told people I think right around 700 is where I was looking. It definitely ran through that all the way. So I didn't tell people 600, but I was thinking 500. But I went 700. So top in the zone. But it got there. So I know if people got it on that call, they made quite a bit of money on this run up. Still expecting this thing to break down, but build long structure. All right, CRV. Yeah, I'm not liking that. All right, so yeah, we're almost at the same highs. and going way down in strength. So strength's dropping on CRV. I would avoid this one. This doesn't look good. Gold. Got a nice bounce here on gold, right on the center, right on the center. We could see gold kind of hover this top end. I want to see gold fall back to the bottom of channel. I am expecting this to turn into a bullish breakout. This is a bull channel right here. Gold is in a bull channel. Expectations are we break out and go to wherever, but I think that this is definitely a breakout scenario. We could retest the highs. That would be a triple top. That'd be extremely bad. I'm expecting price to break out above the highs, 2077. Swing price will come all the way up here. You can see right here, they've almost perfectly touched the same zone over and over again. And this is just the Fibonacci at the high. And then, we kind of drew that Fibonacci down. Expectations are that they come up, hit this high though, maybe come down from there, hit this low of 1,319. They've trapped gold for a long time in this zone. It's been trapped in this zone for a long time. I am expecting this to be the consolidation, this whole thing to be the consolidation of gold. Keep in mind, when gold makes moves, it makes moves, right? Boom. From $249. I'm expecting gold at some point, this to be the leg portion of gold, and gold's going to take off. It's going to, look, I don't know if it'll get up here, guys. I don't know that. Maybe we reinstate it as the world currency, back currency, whatever again, or something like that. And maybe it does. But these consolidations, you cannot ignore them, because when gold does these consolidation zones, it then just goes, right? Then it consolidates, then it goes. Then it consolidates, then it goes. And I feel like we're in a consolidation for gold. Like, I think long term, it'll probably be like a decade. I'm not going to lie. But at some point, gold's just going to move. It's going to, I mean, it's not significant gains from where it's at, right? If you're talking about like current price, 1750, even if it ran to 7-8K, it's not going to be anything crazy. It's going to be like a 4 or 5X, but it could be a nice little safe haven if you're looking for that safe haven. All right. Volatility index. What did we say? Build long structure, guys. Build long structure. Don't ignore structure. Don't ignore structure. Don't ignore structure. Build long structure. Build short structure. Key. Build long. Build short. Short, bullish. Long, bearish. Volatility. So S&P is at the bottom of zone. Looks like it's already bouncing. We could see it drop down again and then go. So be cautious. Don't think that we've hit the bottom. We're going to bounce. We're going to moon, and then everything's going to tank. We could see it pull back a little bit more before we end up seeing it take off, but it is going to take off. Bitcoin bouncing perfectly off of our order block we talked about, and this is on the weekly. Much easier to see here. See the order block? It's beautiful. I think price comes up, probably hits the lows here around, like I said, 23, 24K. Comes back down, or we could see it come up and retest the highs of the incline, or we could see it retest the high of the zone, right? The bearish zone. So one of these three scenarios, I'm looking for a short, not looking for a long. You want a long, you could spot long from here, so which means you can buy some of the asset, let it pop up, take profit. If it continues up, take profit. If it continues up, take profit. Set your stops higher and higher and higher as price goes. That simple. In John. No, not interested. Not interested. BBBY. Bed Bath & Beyond. People were warned. Now they got liquidated, and now it's going to come right back down to a $4 stock. Imagine buying this at 30. Jeez. Look at that retest. Look at that retest. Funny how they just came back and recaptured liquidity perfectly. Didn't even need to know that there was going to be a pump on it. You just knew that liquidity was going to get recaptured because of the fast move. All right, I think that is it for charts. We kind of ran through everything, right? We talked about all the good stuff, all the juicy stuff. Nothing to really get into right at the moment. We got the drop, the incline wedge into the drop, into the pump, right? We could see each time pant back up to this 2,000, and people like, I told you so, I told you so. I'm expecting the head and shoulders here. But if they do come back up to this 2,000, it doesn't matter. It's still heavy resistance, and then they're going to drop from here. That's my expectations. But for right now, this is my expectations, right? So I was expecting to come down here though, which I do still expect them to do, and then pump back up and then drop back down. So we'll see at the end of the day. This is what I would say is probably what is currently going on, or at least what I'm seeing going on with the charts and with liquidity and the market and so on and so forth. So keep your eyes on charts, and I'll see you later.